Good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Today is Monday. It is May 26th. I hope that you are having a fantastic Monday, and it is Memorial Day. So I appreciate you guys being here. Please let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box. I hope you had a lovely weekend. You're off today. I hope that you throw something on the grill. I hope you take time to chill. And as always on here, we do Veterans Day, but Memorial Day, it's so important to understand that freedom isn't free. We talk about that often on the show, right? But to think about this, and if you just kind of step back and you think that there's people in this country that gave their life, paid the ultimate sacrifice, your life, for us to have our freedoms. It's really incredible if you think back and you step back and you just kind of observe it. And I get it. People can go different political ways, but at the end of the day, you're able to have that choice because of people who gave their life so that you could complain, so that you could do whatever you want. So it is honestly such a blessing. Today, here in Tuscaloosa, I did a Murph challenge this morning with my buddies, and clearly, Mike Murphy, right here on the left. I'm sure you guys have seen Lone Survivor. If you haven't, Mike Murphy loved the Murph, right? He loved to put on the weighted vest. You run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then you run another mile. So got that in this morning. I'm beat. I'm dead. I'm not going to lie, but we got it in, and it took time to reflect and, really think about the great privileges that we have in this great country. So I love it here. I fly a flag outside of my house every single day because of the fact that we're free, and I will never take that for granted, right? I used to live in Washington, D.C. I've told this story. Maybe I haven't, but I worked at Braddock Station. Anybody ever familiar with D.C., the Metro, blue and yellow? Well, I lived in D.C. and Virginia 2 different times. And when I lived in Alexandria, Virginia, I would take either the blue or the yellow line. I worked at the EPA for a time. And I would take either the blue or yellow, and you would stop at Pentagon City. And I was always so impressed with the people that you were riding alongside. I'm talking people that worked in all branches of the military that were stopping at the Pentagon. It was a great honor, honestly. So, Mike Murphy, and then I wanted to bring this as well. We're starting off. It's Memorial Day. It's my show. I love America too. Yeah. But this is one of my favorite statues in the world. And this is Iwo Jima. Has anybody ever seen this? And I kind of zoomed in on top. And I love this because right here down the center, if you look closely, it says uncommon valor was a common virtue. I don't know where the world is at this point in time. I try to stay in my own lane, but uncommon valor was a common virtue. Man, it was a different breed. It was different. All right. But I welcome you to the show, so I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Today, this is our raffle right here. $5 to enter today. All right, $5 to enter. Up to 3 opportunities to get into the raffle today. This is the hat that we're raffling off. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. You get Venmo, Bama_YouTube, or Cash App Bama YouTube. I'll do my shout outs in just a second, and then we'll talk. We'll go over a couple topics. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me on today's show. So again, this is what we're rocking with today for the raffle. Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Let's see where you guys are coming from this morning. All right, we got Herman coming in. What's up? He says, good morning, you, Kyle, and everybody turning in today on this fine Monday. Happy Memorial Day and Roll Tide from Texas. We got Chad Kennedy. What's going on, man? Didn't know if we're going to be a show today. Yeah, the show must go on, man. Chad, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Young C, the rapper, man, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Young C also says the 2018 Orange Bowl just popped on my TV. Does anybody remember that? Let's see who else we got. Anita, what's going on? Good morning to you. Hope you're off to an amazing start. And let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box. I like to see kind of the overall reach. Robert Bradley, what's up, bro? Good to see you as well. Kalen Childress checking in. Kalen DeBoer checking in. DC 777, what's up? Brady G, what's up, man? Jay Boogie, Jonathan Moore, Ryan Harris, what's up, man? King Riz up in the place. Jeff, man, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Jeff says this, happy Memorial Day. Got a lot of family here, just want to stop by, say roll tide. Most of my family served. We appreciate their service, man. Thank you very much, Jeff. Hunter Wild, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Stephen Hicks says freedom is not free. Veterans paid their dues, roll damn tide. Love to see it. All right, man. We got a good crew in this morning. Chris G, what's up, man? Bentley Boys is here. Jarvis is here. Man, hope you guys brought the steaks, man. Get it on the grill. Chuck is coming to us from North Alabama. Matt Farm's taking a little bit more north, up in Romulus, New York. It's me, Marvin, man, saying it's a perfect morning. Anita, I appreciate that. I'm thankful for you, too. Chad's coming to us from Northwest Alabama. And Kenneth Wilson saying roll tide. Dan Caraway, what's up, my boy? Good to see you, man. All right. I want to do a quick weekend wrap. Some things that stood out to me, of course. Look, it's May 26th. It's Memorial Day. It's my show. I want to have fun with it. All right. Did you see this? The Indianapolis 500. While we're celebrating the military. Did you see this? A pace lap for America with 106 Special Operations Aviation Regiment. Did anybody see this? And you had these helicopters flying over. Did you see this? To also celebrate the Army's 250th birthday. Did you see? This was incredible. I saw a guy, honestly, there's probably nothing more American. There's a guy here, Indianapolis 500. I don't know. There was a camera somehow, and he was holding up a Miller Lite as the helicopters were flying by and the race cars were driving by. Keith Mays, we appreciate your service, bro. Thank you so much. Man, this was amazing at the Indy 500. And I've told you before that I've asked you this, should I dedicate some time and at least check out some NASCAR? You guys have said, yes, I've never been to Talladega. I've driven by Talladega many a times, but I've never gone through it. Hey, eyes up. Got a new sponsor on board. So if you want to be a sponsor out there, I will drop my email inside the comment box, nmpreps@gmail.com. And our sponsor is coming to us from West Memphis, Arkansas. 2 locations. You also have Marion, Arkansas, where I-55 and I-40 meet. Sonic, America's favorite drive-in. You know I love me some Sonic, the tater tots. I'll be fine with the tater tots and the ocean water. I'm straight. But I also used to like the cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. And you know what? Their hamburgers are good. All right, so special thanks to our sponsor. We want more sponsors too. So you're out there, you're interested to be a sponsor, line on up. Hit me up. West Memphis, Arkansas, Marion, Arkansas. If you're cruising through, I know I got a lot of people driving across this great country. Remember, if you're in Marion, Arkansas, it's where I-55 and I-40 meet. All right. Yeah, Herman is like, love me some Sonic, especially that Route 44. Yo, the Route 44 is a big drink. And I'm telling you, the hamburger is definitely underrated at Sonic. All right. Little weekend wrap. You know what? Birmingham is obviously, I'm going to talk about clearly the football team here in a minute. And somebody who just joined up the roster is a summer enrollee. Okay, I'm going to talk about Chuck McDonald and the impact I think that he might make for Alabama down the road. Okay, Chuck McDonald coming up in just a few minutes. Let me get through my opening segment. Yo, Birmingham, Alabama, when I first got here, I had no idea about Birmingham. Birmingham is absolutely beautiful. Thumbs up for the beauty of Birmingham. This is Jemison Park. I took my son. My son and I just spent all Sunday together. And when we went to Birmingham, we started out actually at the Waffle House. And then we went on this trail, Jemison Trail, hit it up. It is absolutely beautiful. And you know who called me yesterday? Toby. You know Toby, inside the comment box. Toby, if you're listening, I appreciate the call. I asked Toby. He called in and he said that the player that he's looking forward to most this coming season is Tim Keenan. I said I couldn't agree more. Then I went to the Galleria Mall. Have you guys been this? Chad is talking about, did you see you got a commitment from a quarterback? No, you have a quarterback that is coming to visit. I don't think a quarterback committed yet. So you have two different quarterbacks that Alabama is in play for the class of 2026. We could talk about that here at the back end. But Alabama has not received a quarterback commit just yet. Yo, I hadn't been to the Galleria. Caden hadn't been to the Galleria, so I was like, you know what? Let's go to the Galleria. We had nothing planned. We went to the Galleria. We did other things too. But man, the Galleria, look, I'm still surprised that like malls exist. But man, this mall, we didn't buy a single thing at the mall. We don't need a single thing. Bentley Boy is saying quarterback commitment. I didn't see a quarterback commitment. I know that Jet the Mala is visiting next weekend, but in terms of like a signed quarterback that committed, didn't see it. Maybe you guys, I'm seeing this. John, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Gazinga, the 6'6" quarterback out of California. It looks like he's a walk-on, a preferred walk-on. Let me see if I can bring that to your screen real quick. But this is John Gazinga, preferred walk-on. I'll bring it to your screen here in just 2 seconds. Yeah, it looks like a preferred walk-on. Did you guys see this? All right. All right, let me switch screens real quick. Yeah, I didn't see that, but look, you're bringing on a quarter. Look, clearly Ryan Grubb wants really tall quarterbacks. This guy is 6'6". I didn't see it, but we'll bring him up, and then we could dive into it later on. Give me 1 second while I add this to the screen. Look, I like I've said this a million different times. I'm fine with just having 3 quarterbacks, having another quarterback maybe for like practice or whatever. I haven't even looked at this guy's highlights. I will, but this is the quarterback you're all talking about. So this is a preferred walk-on. Gazinga. I'll work on his last name later. But it's 6'6", 200 pounds. Man, between him and Austin Mack, and by the way, if you're just joining, you're like, who? It looks like he's a preferred walk-on to Alabama. He's out of California. 3 is enough quarterbacks, and we're fine with the quarterbacks, but sometimes maybe you need another quarterback just to help operate at practice. But I have no idea about this. Let's see, has anybody had time to do some detail on this? Chad Kennedy's saying he's 6'7". Man, can you imagine Alabama's going to have the tallest quarterbacks in the country with Austin Mack being like 6'7" and this dude being, I don't know, Chad is saying he's 6'7". But this is a preferred walk-on, not an actual class. J-Gaz. There you go, Kalen. All right. Made another drop to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen, and thanks to your help, we've been able to put some meals on the table for the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen. So here I am with Susan, who I told you is the director of the Soup Kitchen. And if you've had a chance to meet Miss Susan, she's obviously the GOAT. So we've made 2 different drops in the last 2 months, and all that it goes. So what we've been able to, I think we've been able to donate 250 meals so far. That's what she said. Which is pretty amazing if you think about it. I mean, we just started this and it's not even the season. So I think as we get more into the season, we'll be able to, give back even more. But that's, a portion of the raffles goes back to this clearly. I've been to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen many times. So the service component is certainly great. So this was, I dropped this off on Friday, as you can see, on the 23rd. Now, with your guys' help, though, too, I mean, I'm dropping it, but I mean, it's kind of a collective effort. So let's continue to do it, and that goes through the raffles. By the way, if you want to jump into today's raffle, and we'll roll this over to tomorrow. I know this is a lighter show because it's Memorial Day, but this is the hat that we're rocking with. Chad, I got you in here. This is a $5 raffle. Up to 3 opportunities for this black Alabama camo hat. This is part of the Hide the Tide collection. If you want to buy the hats directly or any of the gear directly, just go to Athlete's Thread and search for, your favorite athlete. In the Athlete's Thread, the only thing that I've noticed about Athlete's Thread, it's a little bit slow to ship out. But if you want some gear, all the gear has been shipped out. And if you have questions about the gear, I'll put my email inside the comment box as well. So again, $5 to enter for this one and up to 3 tries for this black Alabama. It's called the Tree Tide Camo Crimson Patch Hat. I don't know if I like the title. I like the hat. I don't know if I like the title. Went to Birmingham, hit the Galleria. New quarterback in, who's a walk-on. So we'll dive more into that. Did you see this? Ryan Williams has some custom. So there's an artist who makes custom graphic cleats. Did you see this? And he made these cleats for Ryan Williams. Look, these are absolutely fire. These are just for Ryan Williams. No one else can get these in the world. These are so clean. I love the low top cleats as well, but this is when he made the top 10 from his touchdown against Georgia. And there was an artist who created this for him. These are so fire. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the whole thing. If anyone deserves those are Ryan Williams. Those are just so clean. I can't even believe it. I saw this on Instagram. Look at this. So artists literally, so on Instagram, if you look this up, I think Ryan Williams posted this on his Instagram channel. But there's an artist who did the actual work right here. This wasn't just printed on. They literally somehow drew this on and then added the top 10. So he's not going to wear these. I would imagine they go in a box or something like that. But I was like, damn, these are some of the, aren't those, they could sell those. And the thing about it is these players, like Ryan Williams, and we talk about him, it's great to see how he's able to, all these accolades and all this NIL stuff, but I think he's able to handle it really well for his age, and he's still able to be locked in. Last week we just talked about the fact that he's working out with Devontae Smith. And if we know anything about Devontae Smith is 100% business. So, there's the Ryan Hollywood, but there's the Ryan Williams on the field. And say what you want. The guy was absolute performant. And look, I think if you wanted to play devil's advocate a little bit about his game, you could say maybe he dropped that he had drops on the back end of the season. He did. But other than that, his game is as tight as anybody's in the country. He's probably one of the top 5 best players returning in college football. And if he can get fed from Ty this coming season, who knows? I don't. Jarvis? What are his Heisman odds right now? That might be some good value in terms of Ryan Williams winning. I'm serious, because I think with the amount of volume that he's going to be able to get this year, who knows? Herman's exactly right. The sky is the limit for him. I love everything Ryan Williams. This dude is a really good person too. Like he could be like so gaudy and so showy, and he's not that. I think he's like welcoming everything that comes his way, but he seems like a really quality person as well. That's the most important thing. Jarvis is saying something about Milroe. Did you see Jalen Milroe's speech he gave about his time at Bama with the other team captain? No, I didn't see that. Where is that at, Jarvis? I'll look that up. Andre's like, Ryan Williams should date Raven Hollywood Johnson. All right, so the odds for, yo, this is some good value right here. Plus 3,500 for the Heisman? That's some good value. Ryan feels he's winning the Heisman, man. Bama 205, what's up, man? How can we get you to a Stallions game? Yeah, I was in Birmingham on Sunday, but on Saturday I missed it. But that's tight. That Shaheem Carter made the winning play. That's good, man. You know, I love Shaheem Carter's game. I'll look at. I don't know where they're at in the schedule, but I'll look at it, and I would love to go see a Stallions game. That'd be what's up. So going back to Alabama's preferred walk-on quarterback that I guess they got over the weekend, according to his account, John Gaz is 6'7". That's what he has on his account. Is that his Instagram account? 6'7". Man, they like those tall quarterbacks, don't they? Young C feels that Ryan Williams could win the Heisman as well. What's up, Joshua? Joshua says this inside the comment box. Kyle, who do you think will lead the Alabama in wide receiver in yards, and around how many? Also, who do you think will lead Bama in rushing yards and how many? I think clearly Ryan Williams will be the leader at the top. I think when you look to who after Ryan Williams, at first I was thinking it would be Isaiah Horton. I talked to a source close to the program, and they quickly told me that it's going to be Jeremy Bernard. So I go Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard. The thing I have, and I still have Isaiah Horton third, but I think that the fourth wide receiver will probably be, if I had to guess now, I think I might go with Rico Scott as the fourth leading wide receiver. But again, I mean, shoot, it's May. I don't know. I'm hearing really good things about Rico Scott. And that doesn't say anything like about, less about Jalen Hell or Cole Adams, right? Or even like Jalen Mbakwe. I mean, all those guys are going to be somehow used, but I think the biggest question for me is like, who's number 4? Hunter's talking about the long snapper. Yeah, you got a long snapper that came in as a transfer, and I think he might have been even banged up this springtime. And we could talk about the special teams though. And then going back to who will lead the team in rushing yards, I think that will be Jam Miller. I think it'll be a running back by committee. I think my question with the running backs is, will there be a 1,000-yard rusher on this team? And I don't think so. Mike G, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box. I don't think there'll be a 1,000-yard running back on this team. Birmingham, the Stallions back in action on June 1st. Looks like they're playing in Memphis, Tennessee. And then they'll be back at Protective Stadium on June 8th. All right, so Chuck McDonald getting ready to enroll at the University of Alabama. Can we get a thumbs up inside the comment box for Chuck McDonald? Chuck McDonald is a prospect that comes in from California. He was a member of the class of 2025. So think about how great that recruiting class was, right? Deshaun Lee, Keelan Russell, Lazier Brooks, right? All these guys that we got to see this spring. Well, Chuck McDonald is part of that class. And look, you could tell by people hitting up the thumbs up that they know about Chuck McDonald. Chuck McDonald's quality, very quality. And I think the hype, and it's not hype, it's truth. Dejoun Lee is that guy. But this guy right here, Mo Lindquist, has some absolute players to work with in the secondary. And when you look to the full screen of the secondary, you see that you got 4 guys, all your corners are from California, right? Chuck just getting in a little bit late. That's okay. Summer enrollees play. Look what Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams was a summer enrollee last year, right? Dejoun Lee, also from Cali, right? Xavier Brown, Cali, and Damani Jackson, Cali. So I think the starters, we go into this first game, it's certainly going to be Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown. Dejoun Lee's going to play. And, curious to see what Chuck McDonald plays and how he kind of fits into the secondary. But, man, Marcus, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. The Cali corners, you're right. They're all corners. Marcus is checking in late. It looks like what we were kind of talking about. We're talking about Chuck McDonald being enrolled right now. But Alabama added a preferred walk-on quarterback over the weekend. He's 6'7". You could rewind the track a little bit to see. But look at that secondary. If you had to list right now your starter at that third corner position, the Husky, who do you think the starter is going to be at Husky? To be honest, I don't know. I thought it was going to be Cam Calhoun. Then someone said Deshaun Jones. But then I went to that practice and Red Morgan looked like he was the best one. Larry Large is like those matter day DB coach, man. Someone needs to scoop him up. He's turning out guy. That's a nice pipeline that he has here. Who do you guys have starting at Husky? Yeah, there's a direct flight from Mater Day right over here to Tuscaloosa, huh? Dan Caraway saying Bach. I mean, that's a whole nother show, Dan. I wish Bach would have stayed on defense. I do. But Marcus is saying Cam Calhoun at the Husky position. I think that's I think that position is still open for the taking, right? Larry Large has Deshaun Jones. See? Scott wants some barbecue. Kyle, when you go back to Buc-ee's, try the 3-meat barbecue sandwich. Okay. 3-meat barbecue sandwich. Got it down, Scott. All right, Jarvis chiming in. He's talking about Alabama, Florida State. I think Florida State is going to play us closer than 12.5 would indicate. I could see a tight game early, but we pulled out on the back door and covered late. I'll take that. And the reason I take that is just because the game is on the road. First game of the season. Florida State is going to be playing for its absolute Super Bowl, right? But it won't take Alabama long to manufacture points, right? And I think that this team will certainly have a lot of extremely high level big play ability. What I mean by that is guys that can certainly stretch the field. I mean, you want to deal with Ryan Williams, you want to deal with Lazier Brooks. Maybe Lazier Brooks could be the fourth leading wide receiver. I don't know. Let's see what Andre has to say. How do you feel about having 2 punt returners as opposed to 1? How about Cole Adams, Rico Scott? Yeah, it's interesting. We often talk about the punt returner on this team. I would imagine that it's going to be Cole Adams or Jalen Mbakwe. And you know what I'm about to say, but in big game situations, put Ryan Williams back there. But I don't think it could go wrong. I mean, Cole Adams did it last year before he was hurt, and Jalen Mbakwe did it as well. So theoretically, you have your 2 returners at punt returner, and then Ryan Williams also did it. So those are your 3 punt returners. Crimson Angel from Pigeon Forge is asking about Tommy Castellanos, who's the quarterback that transferred from Boston College to Florida State. Yes, he transferred, and 2 years ago, it's important to know that Tommy Castellanos ran for 1,300 yards with Boston College. And I think him going with Gus Malzahn now as the OC at Florida State, it is something to watch at least. Ryan Harris back on the Wolf subject. That's a nice avatar, Ryan. As good as Red Morgan and Deshaun Jones are, they were 3 stars. Dejoun Lee by the end of the year. I don't know. This is interesting, Ryan, because I don't know if Dejoun Lee even worked out at that Husky position, right? And for whatever reason, I kind of think that Red Morgan might have a surge. That's kind of just a feeling. And I think Cam Calhoun is there too. But putting Dejoun Lee there, that could be interesting. I just don't know if he worked out there during the spring or if he will during August. But it might be worth something at least exploring because he's so good, right? You have to have the best on the field, period. Joshua was asking about Keon Keeley. Yeah, I mean, this is one that Alabama fans are. When this guy gets onto the field, can you imagine if Keon Keeley got onto the field and made like a quarterback sack or like used his big paw to like knock down something and had an interception? The crowd would register an earthquake. This young man has been one of the most like talked about prospects that he's almost there, right? We're like waiting for him just to get there. I think he's close, but with LT Overton coming back, like that's the guy at the bandit position. He's close, man. Don't give up on him. And somehow we made this up together. Not on the show, but I think like collectively as Alabama fans, we decided that because he wasn't playing, he was going to transfer. And every single transfer window, we were holding our breath. Joshua, it's all good, bro. We were holding our breath that he would transfer. Don't you hate the you know what sucks is the transfer portal anxiety. I'm serious. Every day you wake up and you just kind of have a pit in your stomach. Yeah, and Crimson Angel's right. Don't forget about Zay Mincy going back to the safeties. Hey, Southern Red, what's up? Good morning. All right. So, hey, Chris Waltman, this is our homework, fam. To go back and do research on John Gaz. I guess we're going to look at this. Is he 6'6" or is he 6'7"? Does Alabama really have 2 6'7" quarterbacks on its roster? And he's a preferred walk-on. But let's go watch some tape and come back tomorrow and see what this young man's bringing to the table. I go back to our hat today. If you want to jump into the raffle today, we got Chad Kennedy locked in. Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. If you want to hit the raffle. And now for the next few minutes, I'll leave it to a Q&A inside the comment box. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm down. And if you're just joining late, it's Memorial Day. So, this is a patriotic show. So we certainly, keep those that paid the ultimate sacrifice in our thoughts and prayers, and we always remember them on this day. So if you have something on your mind inside the comment box, you want something posted on the screen, want to give a shout out to your mom, now's the time to post it inside the comment box. Just like this. Look, this goes on inside the comment box. The good vibes from one of our favorites, Miss Kimberly Harmon. She says, I hope everybody has a blessed Monday morning. Sweet, simple. I mean, Andre, isn't that the truth? The way that Turn the TV Off came out at the exact time that Dejoun Lee got here. I mean, you know everybody loves that song. He better be sponsored by like one of our favorite mustards. If he leaves here without being sponsored by a mustard, I will be pissed. Hey, Patriot Life's inside the comment box. What's up, Patriot Life? Jarvis is switching gears to the playoffs. He's saying, I'm so glad they're going to fix the playoffs this year. Well, hold on, Jarvis. Okay, I still think something does need to be fixed with the playoffs. So what Jarvis is talking about, Dan Caraway, I got you in, bro. The playoffs will now be seeded just 1 through 12, right? But did we find out if they have to take a team that is outside the Power 4? Is it just going to be like top 12? The way that they did it last year, just, oh my goodness. It was terrible watching. I mean, look, those teams had a great season, but some of those teams having buys, it made no sense to me. So I need to actually look that up. Will a non-Power 4 team have to make it? Did we find that out last week? Does Boise State have to make it? Non-Power 4, question mark. John Gaz, I'm going to look that up too. All right. Marcus says this. The Power 4 champs get first round buys, and then the teams are seeded 1 through 12. Hey, no doubt, Dirty South. Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for being here. 334, that's what's up. And then, the next year, or like not this coming season, but the season after it, and the season after that, we'll move to either 14 or 16 teams. And then I guess like 24 teams. I mean, the Nebraska coach wants to move to 40 teams. Let's see what Miss Careless has to say. Miss Careless, nice avatar. Look at that cat. Good morning, Kyle, in the chat. Wanted to say happy Memorial Day to everybody in the chat who has served and is serving right now. Thank you so much. And roll tide. Absolutely. Good post. Ooh. What's up, Thaddeus? I like this. We're talking Zay Mincy. We're talking to John Lee, but he's like, Drake Kirkpatrick, a sleeper. Man, you want to feel old, just think about Drake Kirkpatrick's growing up. Right? Pops played here. Now he's playing here. Time flies. Time flies when you're winning championships, right? Dan Caraway, that's exactly what I said. Just when Nebraska said 40 teams, Coach Rule, right? Was he joking? It didn't seem like he was joking, Marcus. Ryan says this, won't matter how many teams, even with 12 teams, most of the games were boring because they weren't seeded correctly. This is an interesting point too. Do you think that we should get rid of conference championship games? I'm kind of feeling that we should. I never thought, look, I was a huge fan of conference championship games for a long time, but now I think it might penalize you. Look, if you make the conference championship game, more than likely you're going to make the playoffs. But I think in terms of kind of the wear and tear, number one, it's kind of pointless. It might just be if you finish up in that top 1 through 4, then you go into the playoffs. But I think you need to get rid of the championship game. I mean, look, let's say Alabama gets the championship game and they play, I don't know, Texas or whatever. I mean, Texas and Alabama conference championship game, you know how many, I mean, that's a playoff game in itself. You risk injuries, right? Player fatigue. I mean, look at different sports, but look at Alabama's basketball schedule. They loaded it up so heavy, and then when they got into the SEC, which was also heavy, man, that team was so gassed. I think that's probably a way to do it, Dan, is add another conference game and just use the top teams. Yeah, I co-sign on that. Randall says this, but it feels good to knock off Georgia every time we make the championship game. Hell yeah, that's right. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you feel, we've talked about this before, but I don't think we ever came to a clear consensus. And I don't think we have our Georgia fans on this morning. Do we feel that Georgia's going to take a step back this year? I don't want to provide them some reverse rat poison, but it kind of feels like the consensus is that Georgia's going to take a step back this year. I don't know if I'm willing to answer that yet. I do think that their quarterback would be the 4th best quarterback if he was over here, if that means anything at all. Probably not. Maybe it just means Alabama has 3 really good quarterbacks. I think he's kind of mid. I mean, the thing about Georgia, I guess on the offensive side, I mean, because Joshua says Georgia needs better playmakers on offense. Well, they got Zachariah Branch. I mean, let's face it, that guy, if used correctly, who knows? I mean, he could be one of the top scoring threats in the SEC, right? Adam East, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. Jarvis chimes in and says they're predicting this to be one of Kirby's worst years since being a coach at Georgia. Randall says Georgia's replacing their entire offensive line and QB. That's a recipe for a step back. And they still have Bobo. See, I agree, Chad. I think you can't forget about this dude. And depending on how they get him to football, I mean, this guy was an absolute menace at USC, but I don't think he was used correctly. Let's see what David has to say. David says, got some pork chops in the crock pot. Been slow simmering the hickory smoked barbecue sauce. Oh, my goodness. Man, David, you're doing it right, bro. Fran, what's up, bro? Well, that's a nice avatar update. I don't know if you changed that recently, but that looks nice. Fran says this, 2 teams I'm watching outside of the SEC, North Carolina and Colorado. Well, North Carolina, just who knows what's going to happen over there. I mean, everybody, understands Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. That seems to have been a PR nightmare. But it does seem like North Carolina has added some quality players. And Bill Belichick, I mean, the coaching credentials speak for itself. Now, in college, who knows? I think I said that I didn't even think that he's going to get to the season before something else happens, like another NFL team picked him up. But now, kind of with all this other stuff, off the field stuff, I have no idea. In Colorado, I don't know. If Coach Prime can continue to have those guys, floating around the top of the Big 12, I think it'll be impressive. I don't know. I kind of think that they might have a step back, Colorado. I mean, Travis Hunter, losing his son at quarterback. I don't know. I think it might be a step back for Colorado. A lot of people talking Texas Tech. Fromm says, can Coach Prime coach other players than Shador and Travis? Yeah, I know. Sometimes it seems like those are the only players on the team, but I mean, shoot. Those guys balled out. Travis Hunter was absolutely unbelievable. All right, fam. Well, this was Monday's show. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, our homework is this. We're going to look up highlights, okay? We're going to look up highlights on John Gaz, Alabama's preferred walk-on quarterback. 6'6", 6'7". We're going to watch his film. We'll dive into it. And remember, you also have Chuck McDonald over here now checking in to the roster. Another guy from Cali, another corner from Cali. Love to see it. I appreciate you guys so much for joining us today on our Monday show. Memorial Day. It's a special day to think about those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, like Mike Murphy right here, or the thousands and thousands of others that gave their lives so that we can really just be free. And if you step back and you understand being free, it's not something to be taken for granted, right? So I appreciate you guys being here. I love you guys. I sincerely appreciate you guys supporting me, especially in the summertime. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, I'd love it. Reach out, nmpreps@gmail.com. Other than that, hope you guys had a good Monday show and enjoy your time with your family. And don't forget to celebrate and remember those that gave their life so that we can have the freedoms that we have today. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Monday, May 26th, Kyle Henderson of Bama Football.